Psycho is a 1960 American horror film produced and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The screenplay, written by Joseph Stefano. The plot centers on an encounter between on-the-run embezzler Marion Crane and shy motel proprietor Norman Bates and its aftermath, in which a private investigator, Marion's lover Sam Loomis, and her sister Lila investigate her disappearance. Plot. During a Friday afternoon tryst in a Phoenix hotel, real estate secretary Marion Crane, played by Janet Leigh, and her boyfriend Sam Loomis, played by John Gavin, discuss their inability to get married because of Sam's debts. Marion returns to work, steals $40,000, and sets off to drive to Sam's home in Fairvale, California. She pulls over and falls asleep and is woken up by a police officer the next morning. Her anxious behavior makes him question her motives, and he asks to see her license but lets her go. Marion hurriedly trades her car with Arizona plates for a car with California plates. The trade is all for naught as the officer had been watching the whole time. She stops for the night at the Bates Motel, located off the main highway during a heavy rainstorm. Proprietor Norman Bates, played by Anthony Perkins, descends from a large house overlooking the motel, registers Marion under an alias, and invites her to dine with him. Marion hides the stolen money inside a newspaper. After Norman returns to his house, Marion overhears him arguing with his mother about his wish to dine with Marion. Norman returns, apologizes for his mother's outburst, and discusses his hobby as a taxidermist, his mother's illness, and how people have a private trap they want to escape. When Marion suggests that Norman should have his mother institutionalized, he becomes greatly offended and insists there is nothing seriously wrong with her. Marion decides to drive back to Phoenix in the morning to return the stolen money. As she showers, a shadowy figure appears and stabs her to death. Norman cleans up the murder scene, putting Marion's body, her belongings, and the hidden cash in her car, and sinks it in a swamp. Marion's sister Lila, played by Vera Miles, arrives in Fairvale a week later, tells Sam about the theft, and demands to know her whereabouts. He denies knowing anything about her disappearance. A private investigator named Arbogast, played by Martin Balsam, approaches them, saying that he has been hired to retrieve the money. He stops at the Bates Motel and questions Norman, whose nervous behavior and inconsistent answers arouse his suspicion. He examines the guest register and discovers from her handwriting that Marion spent a night in the motel. When Arbogast learns that Marion had spoken to Norman's mother, he asks to speak to her, but Norman refuses to allow it. After he enters the Bates home to search for Norman's mother, the shadowy figure emerges from the bedroom and stabs him to death. When Sam and Lila do not hear back from Arbogast, Sam goes to the motel to look for him. He sees a figure in the house who he assumes is Norman's mother. Lila and Sam alert the local sheriff, played by John McIntyre, who tells them Norman's mother died in a murder-suicide by strychnine poisoning 10 years earlier. The sheriff suggests that Arbogast lied to Sam and Lila so he could pursue Marion and the money. Convinced that something happened to Arbogast, Lila and Sam drive to the motel. Sam distracts Norman in the office while Lila sneaks into the house. Suspicious, Norman becomes agitated and knocks Sam unconscious. As he goes to the house, Lila hides in the fruit cellar, where she discovers the mother's mummified body. She screams in horror, and Norman, wearing women's clothes and a wig, enters the cellar and tries to stab her. Sam appears and subdues him. At the police station, a psychiatrist explains that Norman killed his mother and her lover 10 years earlier out of jealousy. Unable to bear the guilt, he mummified his mother's corpse and began treating it as if she were still alive. He recreated his mother as an alternate personality, as jealous and possessive towards Norman as he felt about his mother. When Norman is attracted to a woman, Mother takes over. He had killed 2 other missing girls before Marion and Arbogast. The psychiatrist concludes that Mother has now submerged Norman's personality. Norman sits in a jail cell and hears his mother saying the murders were all his doing. Marion's car is retrieved from the swamp. About the film. Psycho, 1960, was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Screenplay by Joseph Stefano. The film based on the 1959 novel of the same name by Robert Bloch. The casting of Psycho, 1960, includes Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, Dara Miles, John Gavin and Martin Balsam. The film was shot at Universal Studios in Hollywood, California. Hitchcock kept details of the plot and the shower scene a secret, heightening the suspense for both the audience and the actors. The film is renowned for its chilling score, especially the screeching violin strings in the shower scene, composed by Bernard Herrmann. Herrmann's score played a crucial role in creating tension and atmosphere. Psycho was released on September 8, 1960. The film had a relatively modest budget, around $800,000. The film grossed over $50 million worldwide, making it a major commercial success. Psycho, 1960, received widespread critical acclaim for its innovative storytelling and Hitchcock's direction. Though it didn't win any Oscars, it received 4 Academy Award nominations. Psycho is considered a landmark in cinematic history, influencing the horror genre and filmmaking techniques. Over time, Psycho gained critical acclaim and is now regarded as one of the greatest films in the thriller genre. The shower scene, in particular, has become iconic and is often referenced in popular culture. The character of Norman Bates and the Bates Motel continued to be explored in various adaptations and spin-offs. There were 3 official sequels and remakes of the film: Psycho 2, 1983, followed by Psycho 3, 1986, and Psycho 4, The Beginning, 1990. Remake Psycho in 1998 and a TV movie, Bates Motel, 1987. 10 interesting facts about Psycho, 1960. 1. Janet Leigh, who played Marion Crane, was not warned before the famous shower scene to capture her genuine reaction. 2. Hitchcock chose black and white film to save costs, but it added to the film's suspense and atmosphere. 3. The Bates Motel set was built to scale, allowing Hitchcock to film from any angle. 4. Hitchcock insisted that theaters not allow late entry, creating a marketing buzz and enhancing the suspense. 5. The shower scene has 90 different shots in only 45 seconds, showcasing Hitchcock's innovative editing. 6. Hitchcock received the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award posthumously in 1968, recognizing his exceptional contributions to film. 7. Alfred Hitchcock used Bosco chocolate syrup instead of blood, because it showed up better on camera. 8. The novel upon which this movie was based was inspired by the true story of a serial killer, Ed Gein. 9. The sound that the knife makes penetrating the flesh is actually the sound of a knife stabbing a cassava melon. 10. According to Alfred Hitchcock, the whole movie was made because of the shower scene, which lasts less than a minute in the movie.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos and don't forget to press like button and share.